Thank you, everyone. I'm really glad to be here at Delhi University and on the TEDx platform. And I want to first thank you all for this wonderful opportunity. I'm Major Bhavna Chauhan. I'm an Indian Army officer. I'm a published author and I'm an architect.
I belong to three different worlds. One is the world of uniform and battlefield and discipline. And the other world is of blueprints, of drawings, of buildings. That is of an architect. And the third world is the creative world of words. And all these three divergent worlds have taught me just one lesson, which I want to share with you: the power of thoughts.
The theme today is Thoughts Inspire True Success.
And I want to begin by asking you a question. What do you think is the most important, most powerful tool for your success? Is it your degrees? Is it talent? Or is it your networking or contacts? Or is it the thoughts which you choose every day? On an average, the human brain thinks 70,000 thoughts in a day. And the question, the deeper question which we need to ask ourselves is, are my thoughts building my success, or are they quietly sabotaging it? Okay, may I have the first slide? Now here I would like to share a quote. Thoughts are like seeds, and the harvest that you reap depends on what you sow. So your starting point in any accomplishment, in any result, is the thought. Okay? Now, usually I will go on, they'll have the slide later. When we talk about success, you always think of something tangible, you know, like a good placement. You have a good placement in a company, or a promotion, or a rank. But what we don't realize is that every tiny result, every accomplishment actually begins as an intangible thought in someone's mind. And that is exactly what I want to inspire you with my journey and share my journey about the power of a strong mind, a positive mindset. Now, let me start off from college level where you people are today. So I graduated in architecture from the School of Planning and Architecture, New Delhi. And that is when the idea of joining Army sparked in me. This was in the year 2001, and Indian Army had just started the women entry in the officers batch. So it was a very new phenomena, and I am among the pioneer batches of women officers. So when I went to the gates of Officers Training Academy, it was that single thought that just let me try. I was interested in donning the uniform and doing my architecture work in the army. So that is the thought which took me there. And the training academy, OTA, NDA, always, they are very tough places. They first bring you down to a ground zero, and then they rebuild you. You know, the schedule is very tough. You get up at dawn, you get up at 4 a.m., you have drill, PT, weapon training, then you have classes in service subjects, things which you are not taught in school or colleges. There is, you know, a lot of what is called as ragda or punishment. So that is, one was the physical aspect, and the other was the uncertainty, because we were from the initial batches. So once we reached into the academy, there was also that uncertainty and that fear in the general atmosphere that is women entry good for the army? Should it be there? And then there were a few people who used to say that, oh, this is just a temporary thing and this entry is going to get stopped. So when I joined the academy, you know, the first 2 weeks are the toughest, and the maximum dropouts are in the first and the second week. People just pack their bags and go. So when I came there and I was wondering, I was fine, I was doing a job as an architect, I've landed up here. And then I remember one particularly punishing exercise schedule. We had a training schedule, and few of us were falling behind. And then our instructor came to us. He said, what happened, cadets? So we said, there's no strength left. Our legs are cramping, it's paining. And then he used a phrase which is very popular in the academy. And that phrase is, your strength is not in your legs, it's here, in the brains. So when you hear it first, you're skeptical. Ki ye kya baat kar raha hai? What is this? But over a period of time, you realize that before you conquer any physical obstacle, you have to first strengthen your mind. You have to replay it. You have to first think and manifest it in your mind. And, in the first week, they have a few tests just to see how you're faring compared to your batchmates, both academic and physical. And the physical test, I did really badly, even though I thought I was very fit and I was a basketball player. And but once this thing happened, then I thought ki nahi, abhi we have come here, idhar pahunch gayi hu, so I'm going to give it my best shot. And after that, months of training, and I thought the same, just one thought, let me try it for the training period. I will take every day as it comes. So these are few glimpses from the training at Officers Training Academy. So that's me with the rocket launcher. This is our outdoor camp. We have a race back of around 24 kilometers. You go to an outdoor location in the mountains, you have a camp, you go in vehicles, okay? But when you return, you carry your weapon, you carry your bag, and you race back. Those 24 kilometers, you have to go back to your barracks. So that is there. Then those are pics. And you have a lot of uniform changes. I mean, you are supposedly training in weapons, in drill, and you have around 10 changes every day. So a lot of stuff happening. May I have the next slide, please? I'm very happy to share with you, you have something called the passing out parade. And the day you get commissioned as a Indian Army officer, that is like your new birthday. No officer forgets that date. For me, it was 3rd March 2001. And that is the day I got commissioned as an officer in the Indian Army. And I'm very happy to tell you that I was first in the order of merit in my batch. And I secured 6 proficiency medals, including the Commandant's Gold Medal for writing and the Best Cadet for Corps of Engineers. So if there's a girl who came from a total civil background, architecture background, and had absolutely no clue and was not sure of her beginnings, and she could come here and perform. So that's a lesson you can draw. May I have the next slide, please? So dreams transform into thoughts, and thoughts result into action. Every thought of yours, it can't be just empty thought. It requires an action. It requires consistency. You require to give it time, and you require to give it a lot of work. May I have the next one, please? So that's me. Those are the people who are representing their contingents. That's me leading my contingent. Next one, please. Yes, it was covered in the newspapers in Chennai. That's me with my parents and my DS. So OTA taught me a very profound lesson that, people will think that in the training academy, your biggest obstacle will be a 12-foot wall or the race back or some, the running part. It's not. It is the voice in your head. It's the voice in your head which says, you don't belong here. You're not better than them. You can't do it. So the first point is self-belief and then consistency. So after OTA, then I got commissioned into the Corps of Engineers as a technical entry, and I was posted to my unit, to my regiment. And since we were the initial batches of women officers, I was the first women officer in my regiment, and my regiment has a very glorious past. It is a very illustrious regiment with a history which dates back to the British Raj, and they have a very strong Maratha and Sikh composition, the troops. So when I landed up in the regiment, there were people, the troops, the Jawans, they had never seen a woman in uniform, let alone someone who was firing weapons, rifles, and someone who was in a position of power, someone they had to take orders from. So on the first day, my CO, who's like your boss, the commanding officer, he called me and he told me, he said, Bhavna, do you realize you are not just a lieutenant in the army? You are creating history here. You are our first woman officer, and you'll go down in history as a woman officer. So the troops, they are watching you. They are going to judge you. They are going to test you. Their service is more than yours. They have been here longer. So remember that you are going to be on show always. They're going to be watching you. And let your performance, your behavior reflect that. Now that's a very hard cross to bear, but I thought that I will do what I know best, do my work and do it individually. So that was my part when I joined the regiment, and within a few months, Operation Parakram happened. Operation Parakram, if you know, was one of Indian Army's largest mobilization on the borders against Pakistan. And this was in the aftermath of the Parliament attack. So within a few months of getting posted as a youngster to the regiment, I got posted, we got deployed on the western borders, and I was deployed there with my unit. Now that was a totally different experience because we were constantly moving, and we were living in tents in random villages, away from cities, away from any social events, and the combat side Corps of Engineers. You know, we build bridges, we do mine laying, we lay tracks, roads, we build water points. So those are the things which I did in that month. That was roughly a year, 11 months in Operation Parakram, very trying times. And there used to be a very thin line between conflict and peace. And many days there have been months that I had actually not spoken to a girl because the next unit would be miles away and we were very few. But I learned a lot. I bonded with my troops and I think I really earned their respect. So I also had the privilege of serving in Operation Parakram. And after that tenure, I got a tenure in the MES, the Military Engineering Services, where I did the work that I had done in college. I designed buildings for the army, for the defense, and as a part of a design team, I worked on a lot of projects. So for me, that was a big honor. Now, when I'm a short service commission officer, so when I left the army and I transitioned back to civilian life, it's a very difficult phase. And a lot of veterans will tell you that this transition is more difficult than the battlefield because you don't have that morning schedule, you don't have a bugle, you don't have a schedule to follow. And a lot of people ask me, is it difficult to leave the army? And I smile because, you know, you may stop wearing the uniform, but the army never leaves you. Those values, that discipline, you carry. So I decided to pick up the pen, and that was a very different kind of a battlefield. A lot of blank pages, lot of insecurity, because I have no prior publishing experience. I had never done any kind of publishing before or written a book, but I had that fire in me that I want to tell this story. There also, there were many people who told me that don't choose this subject. My first book was actually, may I have the next slide, please? Thank you. Where Girls Dare. It's a story of transformation. It is about cadets in the academy, training for army, and it's the story of people who are misfits, oddballs, who are behind, and how they transform. And this is also being adapted for a web series adaptation. But when I wanted to write it, a lot of well-meaning people told me that why don't you write on something which is more popular? No one will read this. So I used to, you know, for a few days freeze that should I write this, should I not? And then it is the only thing that I felt this will have more authenticity. It is raw. It is what I have lived. It is my lived experience. And I went ahead and did this. This was published by Penguin Books India. And it's also being made into a web series now. Another book I have worked for is the International Chicken Soup for the Soul series, especially for Indian college students. And there are 2 anthologies coming this year. The one which I'm very proud of is actually 12 women officers who have been selected from tri-services, which is Army, Navy, Air Force, to share their journey, and I'll be one of them. That book launch is near Army Day. And my journey began in 2001, where we were just a handful. We were the initial batches. And that debate always hung around us ki whether women entry will continue. But I'm very happy to share with you all that in this year, today, in 2025, you have women officers who are actually commanding regiments. They are full colonels, they are commanding regiments. You have people in all the branches. So that's a huge, huge step which starts with a single thought, which starts that, yes, this can happen. This is something new, but let's try this. I also have an NGO, Disha Veer, which works for underprivileged children. What are the things I really want to, which I feel are the takeaway from my talk? One is that thoughts are the real battlefield. You know, it's never the physical element. You have to first win the battle in your mind. And science, neuroscience has a term for it, which is called neuroplasticity, which is the ability of the brain to rewire your system based on repeated thoughts and repeated action. Not just thoughts, you have to back it up with action. Second is an army quote, which is really often repeated: what your mind repeats, your life salutes. Thoughts are like your commanding officer. If you think in fear, your life will shrink in fear. And if you think big, if you think positive, your thoughts will be limitless. They will give you wings. So whenever you're starting, it need not be in a civil setup, government setup, private setup. Please think big, think originally, and think bravely. It's not necessary it has to be a trodden path where people have gone. Third is the issue of mental hygiene. You have to manage your thoughts. When people say that courage, courage is a term associated with army. Courage is not the absence of fear. No. Every army guy, every Fauji also feels fear. It is the management of your emotions. It is the management of fears. So you have to learn to cultivate certain positive thoughts. And the third is that you curate your inner world like you curate social media. When I was in college, we did not have social media, but I really admire the grasp, the extent which you youngsters have for social media. And the best thing I like is the freedom it gives you. You don't like someone, you don't like something, you block it, you delete it. If you like something, you follow it, you subscribe to it. So please apply this to your thoughts, to your mindset. Block, delete negative thoughts, because once you go out, even from the college into the real world, when you go out to jobs, you will have a lot of colleagues, you will have seniors, who may unintentionally or intentionally put doubt. ये कैसे करेगा, ये नहीं होगा, ये नहीं हो सकता. So learn to take those things with a pinch of salt and learn to curate your inner world, your thoughts with a very positive mindset. As an architect, I can tell you that thoughts are like your foundation, okay? And the discipline is something which is like your structure. You have your thoughts as the foundation, your discipline is the structure, and your purpose, your aim is what gives finishing to your to what you're building. That is there. So that's all. And I will end with a quote by the boxing legend Muhammad Ali, which is one of my favorite quotes. And it is, if my mind can conceive it, if my heart can believe it, then I know I can achieve it. Jai Hind.